Happy Sunday and welcome to another episode of your most favorite Tesla series here on the whole internet, here on Quarantine TV on YouTube. Here on Wolf of Dubai, you are having every single Sunday Tesla Sundays, and one of the topics that we will discuss today is, do we as Tesla investors need to be prepared for a new all-time high that's apparently coming for the stock? This and much more here in this episode, so stay tuned. In this episode, we will talk about the absolutely insane gain of the Tesla stock. Moreover, we will talk about Sandy Monroe that finally is releasing every day new parts of his analysis on the Model Y. We are opening or reopening Tesla. This will be one of my favorite topics today. And we will talk about car sales in the US because as per federal government, this is now considered an essential business. Moreover, we will talk about the earnings on the 29th of April and we will talk about Tesla in China. And then we will wrap up this episode and maybe it will be the best Tesla Sundays episode because you smashed that like button. So if you know the Tesla stock as an investor, you first need a good heart, and second, you should not have blood pressure or anything others, because if you are just looking into the 3 months chart, this is a roller coaster from about mid of Jan 550 up to the very first time over 900, and then we went back to 700 levels, then we went back up to 900 levels, and then the whole situation that we are currently in started, which brought us down to about 350 levels, and then we went back up currently about 750 levels. Now, what happened this week for Tesla was absolutely the one push by Goldman Sachs that increased the stock price for Tesla, where they see the stock at around $874, and this pushed the stock. This week alone, the Tesla stock made about 28%. So congratulations if you're holding on Tesla stocks. I think the next big moments for the Tesla stock will be the 29th of April, but we will talk about later on in this episode about that. So the Tesla stock currently is valuing the whole company on the stock market at $139 billion. This is again insane. And now in this whole situation where so much things going on, so many factors will play a role, because in the end of the day, if we are looking into the overall Tesla stock, we always saw this up and downs. Even when we go as back as 2018, the stock was at 300, then it went up to 370, then back to 300, 370, then back to 260, then back up to 370, and then we went back into the lowest part of summer last year, where I thought, you know, this is such an unbelievable company for such a bargain of just $178 per share. And I know where it was, and I just remembered where I was in this moment and what was my feeling. I was like in bed and I was seeing the stock at 178 and was thinking, wow, this is incredible. And I thought they have to pull out the Model 3 in mass production, otherwise, you know, this will just continue. After Q1 of 2019, the stock just went down, and about in the mid of summer 2019, we saw the Tesla stock just went up like a SpaceX rocket. Some of you Tesla fans and Tesla followers maybe know Sandy Monroe. Sandy Monroe Associates is one of let's say engineering company in the US, led by Sandy Monroe, that made career at Ford and was one of the best engineers for many decades, and he decided to go on his own, and since then he is taking cars apart. He also specialized on electric cars, and he is really going into detail. I believe that his analysis of cars, of electric cars, in comparisons to other peers on the market are absolutely brilliant. And he has a YouTube channel. You should visit it. You should watch this video because he is taking currently apart the Model Y and is filming it, and his wisdom, his knowledge, his experience, his engineering know-how is absolutely mind-blowing. And you know, this shows us many new things on the Model Y, but though some parts of the car are still, let's say, a little bit too hyped before, maybe they promised too much, maybe there was no time to make it better, but in the end of the day we know that Tesla Model Y is a brilliant car, and it will be built up on the success of the Model 3, and we can use 75% of those parts, and new owners are very happy, though we still see those quality issues in the first car delivered. Also Sandy Monroe saw this in the paint shop, for example, and therefore I just can recommend to watch this video if you're interested. A little bit technical, but if you're not, make sure also to check those videos out, because you can also get some hints of parts and mass manufacturing and how this involves costs or reduction of cost of more Teslas on the road. Now, a big moment for the Tesla company will be the reopening on the 4th of May. Now, if we know that who closed those factories last, it was Elon Musk, and who will by law be able to open it first, it will be Elon Musk as well, because he is so dedicated to the job and to reach new highs with Tesla and to produce and spread Tesla to so many new owners. I just believe that we shall see Tesla opening as one of the first factories, and how fast they can scale, how good are the precautions, because we are still in a crisis. And therefore I think lots and lots of experience that Tesla has in China for the reopening of the Shanghai plant, I think will play major part in the reopening of US, and therefore I'm quite convinced that Tesla in the US can make a huge example for many other companies and factories out there. So if you're following that we are in a lockdown worldwide, the government are deciding which businesses are somehow essential. This is, for example, a supermarket, a pharmacy, doctors, hospitals. But now the US government, federal government, decided that the US car sales and maintenance is also an essential business. This opens now the huge advantage that Tesla had, because they're selling cars online, and unfortunately this will be ending now, and the car dealerships are able to reopen again, which is a great success for Ford, GM and other traditional car manufacturers. So we should see and follow this development, how it further develops, and as of now the advantage of Tesla actually vanishes. There was one mistake of last weeks and the week before of Tesla Sundays, and I have to excuse because I was linked by Nasdaq.com, and they are claiming that on the 22nd of April we will have the quarter earnings numbers Q1 by Tesla. Let's have a quick flashback. This will most probably happen on the 22nd of April. This is what my research have me told. Some people said 29, so let's keep us updating next week. Next Tesla Sunday we will know the exact date. As you could see that I was very convinced, but unfortunately after more research I saw that this will be actually a week later. So 29th of April is the day where we know, did we make profit, how the big delivery record of Q1 is amplifying on those numbers as well, how the costs and cost reductions and other rearrangements in the financials and accounting are going to happen in this special situation that we are all in. And do we have the $160 million profit to be included in the S&P 500? Last but not least, we have to look into China. As of these timings, China seems to get more and more important for Tesla, and therefore we need to see what new development are over there. Now, there are a couple of positives. So, first of all, we are launching the long-range model and the performance model both in China, and it was so successful that 20,000 orders was placed online in 24 hours in Tesla China, and therefore this is a huge success. Moreover, the Tesla sales in China just grow 400% recently after the reopening of the economy, and there you have this effect that I call the reopen effect, where people around the world are seeing, hey, I can go out now, I can go spend my dollars now, and then you see the spikes. However, it's hard to determine if the spikes will be holding for a couple of weeks, or we just will see one spike and then we will see just a degraduating graph of less and less demand and less sales. But however it ends out, you will hear it here first.